First of all, with all your offensive background, how did you become a linebackers coach?
That's a really good question. When I got back here in 2017, they had a defensive position open as a graduate assistant. And Coach Campbell had reached out to me after the 16 season and asked if I was interested in coming back to work on the defensive side of the ball, and I jumped all over it and said absolutely. Actually, at the University of Toledo, before I went to Michigan State, I had been working with that defensive staff, kind of in a multitude of roles, but really just kind of helping out with an offensive perspective. And it was kind of the same deal coming back here in 17 as well, and kind of always stuck with defense from 17 till now.
What'd you learn from Tyson?
Coach Veit and I spending a ton of time together, and even back to Toledo before I worked with the linebackers, and it just, how to recruit, how to carry yourself, how to manage a meeting and people, I think are the biggest things that I got from him, as well as the foundation of linebacker play. Obviously, he's coached a lot of really good ones. So getting to spend every day working hand with him before leaving for North Texas was huge for me.
You've been on staff for some time now. What was your tentative impression of the linebackers room, and what have you seen from that group through these first week or so?
Yeah, they're really big, would be the first thing I tell you, but they're a really smart group. They work really, really hard, and they care about each other, which I think is the most important thing. And they're hungry. They want to be coached. And when you teach them new techniques, they pick that up really fast. So it's been really fun to work with them and kind of energized me, coming back, to Ames.
Coach, what have you seen out of Jack Sadowski so far this spring?
Yeah, Jack he plays really, really fast, really smart kid. He's a great leader, and I think he has improved every practice, and he's still really young. I know he played a lot of football last year, but, he's still a young kid, and he's still picking it up, and things are coming to him more naturally now that he did get that season under his belt playing as a true freshman.
Piggyback out that question, how tough is it to start immediately as a freshman linebacker on any team, let alone Iowa State? And I can't remember if he was an early enrollee or not. He probably was, but I mean, just how tough is that?
Man, I think it's extremely hard because, one, you have to be physically capable to go against guys that are 320 pounds every day that are attacking you, as well as, man, there's a lot of things you got to read and see and understand. So it's when you jump into it early, it's kind of baptism by fire, and it happens really, really fast. But I think he's a really sharp kid, and he's got some natural instincts, so I think that helped him out, and he's only going to continue to grow from there.
Anything further? Well, how about, we're not getting into today, but Will McLaughlin, how did he impress you when you look at his tape?
Yeah, and obviously being here prior, had a good understanding of Will. I think he's a tremendous player. He's really, really good in space, and he does some things naturally that are really good, and he continues to grow too. And I know he's played a lot of football, but to me, he's still a young guy right now that just has played a lot of reps. So he needs to continue to mature, but, man, I've been nothing but super impressed with how he carries himself and what kind of football he's been playing through the spring.
What's Jack have to do to take that next level from good, I don't know, whatever his next level will be, to whatever level that is?
Yeah, I think the big thing for Jack is the understanding of the game. What's happening pre-snap, what the formations tell you, what the alignments of the players across from you are telling you, and just taking it one day at a time and not trying to look at the finish line, but just worry about the next step in front of him. And I think the work will take care of itself as long as he trusts in the process, as they say around here.
Obviously, losing Gary Vaughn doesn't help, losing his leadership and his veteran presence. What does it take for guys like Sadowski and McLaughlin to elevate this young linebacker room this season?
Yeah, I think it's going to be leadership by committee in the linebacker room, because there's a ton of other guys that have played a lot of football. You talk about Caleb Bacon coming back and being the more veteran, age-wise guy in the room. Carson has taken a bunch of reps through the years. Like even John Klosterman, who is pivotal on special teams and has taken some reps, has been a great leader in the room. So I think those guys kind of have been doing it by committee and working and growing together, which is nice. I like it a little bit better than just having an alpha. Like everybody's a little bit of an alpha and kind of taking that leadership role and coaching each other and helping each other out, which I think has been huge.